Good morning or good day, whenever you watch this. I just want to answer a few questions and give you some clarification on things I mentioned in the videos and on the syllabus. As I rush through those, I may not have said everything the right way the first time. So I'm going to share my screen and we're going to go through three things today or in this video. That is just going to walk you through Blackboard a little more slowly and answer where you can find the assignments and due dates and such, as well as a quick review of PackBack, and then I'm going to address the service learning. Share my screen here. All right, so you should be seeing the Blackboard. So when you come to Blackboard, you see this, any latest announcements. Course content is where you'll find everything. So in short, all assignments, anything you do will be under course content. When you click on course content, now this is my screen, so you can see everything that you're gonna get briefly. But for right now, all you see is Unit 1 and pre-course survey. That's all you see when you go. So you click into Unit 1, and right now, all that is there is Week 1 introduction and food security and COVID, correct? So just to give you a preview, you can see that Week 1 lecture is going to be released later today or tomorrow, because I wanted you to do the reading, introduction, and the pre-course survey first, right? So it just for immediate, so you can see the future with me. Week 2, there'll be video lectures. So that Flipgrid assignment that I mentioned in the first video right here will be the link. So you'll have watched the lecture, you'll have had the material up to this point, and the assignment is right there. You will click to Flipgrid where you can record your video. And I probably will put it in the announcements as well on that week or next week, just to make it easier to get to. Week 2 through 4 assignments, videos, whatnot, everything is here under content, Unit 1. All right, lecture. So the next, that's that there. So you'll be able to find them under, you can go straight to Flipgrid as well, and you'll see the topics that I've opened up. But as far as just seeing a direct link from the class, you'll see them here. Okay, so you can see this goes through Week 4, and we'll have one guest lecture under tobacco, by the way, if you're interested now. So that stands for the one question. You'll always find it. Just to show you what I mean again, let's say in Unit 2, when this comes open during Unit 2's time, you can see again what we'll be doing, lectures, videos, and then again, you'll see this time it's no longer videos. As I mentioned in the first video, the first unit, there'll be 2 assignments that you'll do Flipgrid videos for. In the second unit, there'll be short answer essays. So I'll give you the readings and the videos to do that. And then you'll have Week 7 Week 7 quiz, thoughts on feeding the world. It'll be highlighted in blue. You'll click on it. The instructions are right there, and you'll submit it. Okay. And then there'll be a few more. And once again, a quiz, Alan, save your response to climate change. Again, another short essay. This will be a few weeks or a couple weeks after that first one. So those are the 2 assignments. So they will be in the content. There won't be a separate area. This over here, assignment schedule, that is not a link to your assignments. You can probably ignore that for most of it. That assignment schedule is also in your syllabus. It was put here just as convenience, because some people wanted maybe a convenience. You don't have to open the syllabus, just click on assignment schedule and you can be reminded what it was that's coming up. So you can expect to see in Unit 1 that this one will be coming open next week. You can expect to see under content in Unit 1 that, where to go here, is Flipgrid History of Tobacco will open up. It's due on the 12th. So this is to give you an idea of when you should be expecting to get something turned in. If there's nothing here, then it's not for a grade, for the exception of what? Weekly PackBack. I'm not going to list all those here. Okay, so there's 16 weeks in the semester, but and you should have 10 weeks of involvement within those 16 weeks. I say just do something every week, keep it engaged for you. But I know some weeks are hectic and a lot of exams or something, as well as even in this class, there's 3 weeks where there's a test. So, or you're sick or whatever. I mean, it's 7-day a week, but nonetheless, things happen. So you're allowed up to 6 weeks of where you don't have to post anything. I just wouldn't get in the habit of not posting 2 weeks in a row or 3 weeks in a row, because then you may never return to it. That has happened where someone only posted for 1 week in the first 8 weeks. Whatever. Manage your time, and don't forget. Let me give you a quick, for instance. Let's say you're in Unit 1. Let me click on Unit 1. And you're reading the food policy paper. And maybe you came across something that either 1, you don't agree with, 2, you don't understand, or 3, you really agree with and want to ask your classmates' opinion. PackBack can be any kind of open-ended question, so long as it's kind of engagement over any of the material. Or you see my video, and this is talking a little bit more about the science or nutrition part. What is more important, carbohydrates or proteins? You know, what does our body need the most of? Should we be growing crops for their energy or for their protein content? Anyway, whatever curious thoughts occur to your mind, let's just say you finish watching a video, you're reading, you're like, you know what, I'm going to post a question. Then just go right over here to PackBack. And by this time, hopefully, the registration should be pretty streamlined, because this was through the bookstore. When you registered for the class, you had the option and you got it. And so you shouldn't have to pay. If it asks you to pay, you just put in, it should be a $0 amount. Go ahead and pay the $0, and you should be able to get into this community. So I can see Michaela Winslow. What about the farmers? All right, so reset the table. So it looks like she did exactly that. So I'm going to click on her post, and you guys, if you want to, click on that link to read what the stimulus was or the support was for her question. But what about the farmers? So we will continue to engage government leaders, technical experts, policymakers, companies, community, and faith-based leaders and advocates. Wow, what a great question. What about the farmers? So I'm going to put a little ding. I like that. This post, oops, I clicked the wrong place. Here we go. Ding. Now, that sparked my curiosity. You know, they get about a nickel per loaf of bread. And that's sad. So I don't know. You guys give your response. Now I'm going to answer a question about the curiosity points. And someone said, how many points do we get and whatnot? Right here is curiosity points. All right, you can click on that to learn more. But basically, their AI algorithm is, and you notice this when you posted, that a little, that a side comes up over here that says posting guidelines. Keep going, tips for writing. And so it's kind of checking off. Those curiosity points are in their AI system. One, it's checking that you have kind of good grammar, helping you write a more reasonable response other than just yes, no, I agree types of things. But anyway, the higher quality that it assesses, the more points these curiosity points are. So you're required to get a minimum of 50. So if in your post you have less than 50, it's not going to count that towards the points. So the curiosity points are not any grade points. This is just telling you about the relative quality. But it is still fun because there is a leaderboard you guys can check, and there's a leaderboard that you can check, and you'll see who has the most curiosity points, high quality questions with time and responses and whatnot. As I mentioned, there's features. I'm going to hide my menu. Okay, so hopefully that answers those questions. Here's mine. Mine only had 58 curiosity points, but it looks like I had 6 responses. So 10 of the 16 weeks, you should post a question like Michaela Winslow did here. All right, 1 question per week. And then if you're Michaela, she comes back to somebody else's question like mine. What do you think of when you hear food security? Let's see if she responded. So I'm going to click on the responses. And I see Mackenzie, Brashear, needed something, Bailey, Haley, Ella. Oh, Ella, you got in. Good. Michaela Wendell, there she goes. So biosecurity. So she addresses something and puts a post. Excellent. This is wonderful. APHIS, good site. All right. So at this point, sorry, Michaela, we're using you as an example. she made a post. That one post, because it was at least 50 curiosity points, she got all 6 points for this week that were possible. In addition, she made a response. So now she has an additional 2 points, 2 points for each response. So she has 8 out of the 10 total that she can earn for this week. Once somebody else posts another, and actually she can even respond to somebody else's here, like Rosa Yap. If Michaela wanted to come down and respond to hers, she'd be getting her other 2 points. So each of those 10 weeks that you're posting, you're getting 6 points per question and 2 points per response to somebody else's. So 6 plus 2 plus 2 is 10 points. 10 points for that week. Now, let's say you missed the week. Oh, I want to make it up. You can always post more. That's just the minimum. But if you missed a week, you can't go back because the algorithm for Packback and the grade for Packback puts it in 1 week intervals. So you might only get 4 points. You might, because you responded, but you didn't ask your question. That's okay. You might get 6 points because you asked a question, but you never responded to anybody else. That's okay. And if you, of course, do the math right, asked a question, made a response to somebody else, that's 8 points. So that all adds up to your total points for those weeks. Okay, but and that's the way I am going to take it. So think about this. Out of 16 weeks, I'm only taking 10 weeks, so 10 times 10 is 100. Well, maybe instead of doing 10 10-point post, you do a 10 10 10 4 6 10 6 6 4 4 10 10 20. You post 13 14 15 weeks and they're not all 10s, they still may add up to be 100. So it's a really easy grade. It's designed to be very friendly to your grade. Okay, I hope that makes sense. I might have said more than I needed to and confused you more, but it's in the syllabus. 6 points for each question, 2 points for each response, for 10 points total minimum. And each time response or question, they should have at least 50 curiosity points. Like mine has 58 here, it counts. Yay, I get 6 points. All right. Again, it can be about any topic. I would recommend that each week you ask the question. Now, it's quite fine at any time during the semester, you can ask a question about any topic. You might even pull, hey, remember when we talked about this, and now we're saying this. Well, what happens if, you can make whatever connections you'd love to make, okay? You don't have to stay, but it should deal, of course, with contents of the class. And it'll be most relevant to your classmates, and they'll want to answer if it's dealing with information you're currently covering. Just tips. I hope that answers for the Packback. I'm going to go back to right here, food security. To recap, so far the assignment schedule has no links. It's just to help you plan a little bit. All content is in course content under the folders, unit 1. The only things that'll be outside these folders will be like the pre-course, the post-course, and the final exam links, service learning. So let's move to service learning now. All right, service learning assignment is one that will open up later. So I'm going to share my other screen with you. Now I want to show you the university website here, Introduction to Service Learning. This is under Citizenship and Service Learning. So introductory or introduction to service learning, that's the kind of course this is. They engage students in 4 hours of service related to the course. So for food security, the somewhat obvious option is food banks or food service, packing groceries. That's like Convoy of Hope, Ozark, Food Harvest, or any charity or government or whatever, where they're either packaging, processing, or serving meals. All those count. Okay. Likewise, community gardens, volunteer gardens, campus community garden, you can do it. There's a campus food bank you can do it at. So signing up and volunteering for working in the garden. So it's up to your, trust me, I've had others do related things that were not any of those I just mentioned, but those are the quickest. And I just say Thanksgiving is usually a crowded time because it's a popular time, and you can definitely do it and sign up early for that, because I've had some who didn't get it and Thanksgiving was an easy time, but there's just so many volunteers sometimes at these places that they're like, they put you on a backlog where they don't need you. Others, they say just show up that day. And some have showed up and there was work to do. It was easy. Some have showed up and it's like, oh, we don't need any more. We got our volunteers for the day. You're a little late. Come again next time. And you're like, oh. So don't hesitate. I'll show you real quick again. In the assignment schedule notice, I've given time. I'm going to tell you more about it at the end of week 5 at exam 1. And I'm going to say set up and submit. I'll tell you how at that time. You don't need to know it now. Your service learning plan. So 6 to 9. So that's 6, 7, 8, 9. That's about 4 weeks. Somewhere in those 4 weeks, make note to yourself to call up some areas or email or look at websites and find somewhere you'd be interested in volunteering at. All right. So then if you look here, conduct the hours. Now I say between week 7, let's say you set it up week 6, you may even set it up for the following week 7. So just whenever, anytime this semester basically is what you have. But ideally, if you go into schedule, somewhere between week 7 and 14, you will show up and conduct those hours. It can be in 2 2-hour sessions or 1 4-hour session, but 4 hours, as you saw, is what is required in this course, which is an introduction to food security, right over here. So what is service learning? I keep saying the wrong things. Introduction to service learning, not food security. So you can get more information. I'll put this link up in the announcements, information for students. So the confusion, the one student who emailed, I'll answer this here. So there are courses, this is not one, where you can actually get a credit, a whole single credit by doing a service learning course. And it tells you about that, like a mini internship and whatnot. So that requires more hours. Our class is simply an introduction. So let me click back, introduction to service learning. So just to give you an experience, and maybe you like it, you're relating what you do out there for the community, public affairs community, to what we're learning in class. That's an introduction. It's only 4 hours. So if you wanted to do and get the credit, and so here's some frequently asked questions, what to expect as a student, get help, so forth, and you can get certain designations possibly on your and focus areas right here. So I'll put this link up there and you can read all about it. So there's more you can do than just take a single service learning class if you want to incorporate, and this would be great for your resume, for graduation, marketability, so on and so forth. But about service learning, introductory, that's us. Integrated, that's 1 level more. It's embedded into the course. It's a minimum of 15 hours. We're not doing that. And then there's designate component. And with 40 hours of service, you can earn 1 credit hour. Methods. So again, I'll post this for your information. I hope I covered some of the basic questions of this first week that I did not cover. So I'll try to remind you of assignments in the announcements box with links to the Flipgrid for this first unit. But all assignments and content, that will not be a special place, will all be under course content. Pack back, try to be engaged on a weekly basis. And wait, sorry. There we go. So I'll, everything I just said, I'll keep links updated in announcements. Pack back for your engagement. Course content has all assignments linked to. Okay. Hope that's helpful. Do keep the emails coming if you have questions.